So a new discovery in Antarctica. Researchers find new life under an ice shelf, and the discovery was an accident.
Could we see a real-life Jurassic Park? Scientists found liquid blood in a well-preserved mammoth carcass in Siberia.
The icy wilderness of our world is packed with stuff that's pretty hard to wrap your head around. From spooky Arctic legends to mind-blowing sights and jaw-dropping discoveries. Let's dive into these alien eggs and other icy finds that left everyone shook. Ötzi from Ötztal. High up in the Ötztal Alps, 3,210 meters above sea level, a dude was found frozen solid, his left arm all twisted under him, and his skin still clinging to his bones. Meet Ötzi, the Iceman who's been chilling since the Stone Age and got rediscovered by some hikers back in December 1991. DNA tests showed this guy was about 5 feet tall, weighed around 50 kilograms back when he was wandering around, and was probably in his mid-40s when he bit the dust. But here's the kicker. Carbon dating blew everyone's minds by showing Ötzi is over 5,300 years old, making him older than the Great Pyramids. How wild is that? Story of frozen mummies. In the freezing conditions, 8 Eskimo mummies were discovered back in 1972 in a Chilakitsak tomb, making them some of Greenland's earliest known mummies. Among them were 2 babies and 6 women, whose bodies were incredibly well preserved, complete with tattoos and covered in fur and skin. One of these women was even found to be pregnant, cradling her belly with her hands. On top of the group was a little boy, just 6 months old, who it's believed was buried alive with his mom, following an ancient Inuit tradition. However, the mystery of how they all met their end remains unsolved. While some speculate a tragic family drowning, there's no concrete evidence to back this up. Lyuba, the Ice Age mammoth. Back in 2007, a hunter and his kids were wandering around the Uraby River in Siberia when they literally tripped over something incredible, a prehistoric mammoth carcass that blew scientists' minds, which they ended up calling Lyuba. She was just a baby mammoth, about a month old, when she kicked the bucket some 42,000 years ago, rocking some seriously wrinkled skin and a few tufts of hair. She's pretty much the most intact and well-kept mammoth we've ever found. The cool part? Scientists even found bits of her last meal, some of her mom's milk, and even poop inside her. Seems like poor Lyuba might have gotten stuck in the mud by the river and couldn't get out. Now, she's all set up in a museum for everyone to see. Extraterrestrial ovum. This video from a lake in Utah is straight up giving off aliens have landed and are plotting something vibes. 2 dudes were totally taken aback when they stumbled upon this weird icy blob in the middle of the frozen lake. Picture this, a circular icy patch about 5 feet across, with these little holes around it, all glowing from the center. They got curious and gave it a poke, finding out this thing felt all slimy. They jokingly dubbed it alien eggs. The video blew up, with everyone guessing which alien world these eggs came from, or what kind of extraterrestrial might pop out. Some folks even thought it was just coffee that had frozen over. But plot twist, it turned out to be nothing more otherworldly than a college art project by a student from Brigham Young. So much for our alien invasion, huh? Lion cubs. Chilled to perfection along the Semyu-Lyakh River in Russia, you'll find these Ice Age lion cubs, frozen in time and believed to be about 12,000 years old. These cubs, named Uyan and Dina, are some of the most well-preserved ancient creatures ever discovered, with their fur, whiskers, and even soft tissues amazingly still in place. These tiny big cats, thought to be just a month or 2 old at their time of death, likely met their end due to a landslide, only to be mummified by mud over the years. The freezing conditions worked wonders in keeping them preserved, and now these little cubs are unlocking secrets of life from eons ago. Puppy from 18,000 years ago. Back in the summer of 2018, folks around the Indigirka River in Siberia stumbled upon a bizarre find in the frozen ground that's been baffling scientists ever since. The creature, with its teeth, eyes, snout, and whiskers preserved so well it almost looks like it's just napping, is a prehistoric pup named Dogor. This little guy, who's estimated to be 18,000 years old, has thrown a wrench into what we thought we knew about canine history. Genetic tests can't pin him down as either a wolf or a dog, leading some to speculate he's from that critical moment when ancient wolves were on their way out, and modern dogs were just starting to emerge. This shared ancestor of dogs and wolves was only a month or two old when it died from reasons still unknown. 40,000-year-old horse. Every now and then, we stumble upon amazingly preserved ancient animals frozen in time. Recently, while tunneling away, some gold miners in Siberia hit the jackpot with a new find. They discovered a 2-week-old foal, buried 30 feet underground in near-perfect condition, its skin, hair, tail, and hooves all intact. No external injuries were spotted, but a belly full of mud and silt suggests the poor thing probably got stuck in a mud pit and drowned, eventually getting sealed away in the permafrost. What's really wild is that this young horse even had the oldest liquid blood ever found, opening up all sorts of possibilities for analysis, and maybe even bringing back a long-gone horse lineage from the dead. La Doncella. Back in 1999, a group of archaeologists from Argentina stumbled upon a teenage girl frozen in time, believed to be over 500 years old. They named her La Doncella. She was found mummified, sitting pretty in the Andes Mountains. Taking a closer look, they noticed her incredibly well-preserved body, complete with intricately braided hair, and figured she was part of a ritual burial. It's thought she was left on a mountaintop to freeze as a sacrifice to the gods. Digging deeper into her story, they found out she was heavily sedated just before she passed away, likely as a way to prepare her for meeting the gods. This was seen as a huge honor, a passage to a better existence beyond this life. Frozen bodies in 30-years-old plain. While charting a new path to the top of the Chimborazo volcano, about 660 feet from the summit, a team of climbers made a chilling discovery. They found the frozen bodies of passengers from a plane that crashed into Ecuador's tallest peak almost 40 years prior. Along with the bodies, the searchers unearthed newspapers dated back to 1976, the day the plane went missing, and ID cards of those on the ill-fated flight. Aviation experts have since confirmed that the wreckage is indeed from the SETA Airlines 4-engine plane that disappeared in the mountains, carrying 59 souls. Mallory's remains. Back in May 1999, a climber stumbled upon a pale, frozen figure wearing hobnail boots on the highest mountain in the world. This turned out to be the mummified remains of a human. A tag on the worn-out clothes identified the body as George Mallory, a famous mountaineer who vanished in 1924 while attempting to be the first to conquer Mount Everest. After 75 years, his fate was finally known, found under rocks at an altitude of 8,000 meters. However, the question of whether Mallory ever reached the summit before his death remains unanswered, buried along with him in the mystery of the mountain. A wolf's head. In 2018, a Russian local stumbled upon a massive 40,000-year-old wolf head with its wet fur, dry tongue, and impeccably preserved skin and brain tissue, leaving scientists in awe. This colossal wolf head measured about 40 centimeters in length, making it 25% larger than the wolves we see today. It's thought that this adult male wolf was between 2 to 4 years old at the time of its mysterious death. This unprecedented find, marking the first discovery of a fully matured wolf's remains, is set to give experts a goldmine of information. They're excited to compare it with modern wolves to trace how the species has evolved over time and are optimistic about reconstructing its appearance. Frozen bison. A creature from 2 million years ago, now extinct, was discovered frozen solid in the wilds of Russia. This steppe bison, preserved with all its major organs intact due to the cold, has been nicknamed the Yukagir bison after its find in the snowy, icy expanses of Siberia. This specimen, believed to be an adult age between 4 to 5 years, was significantly taller and bulkier than today's bison. The mummy was in such pristine condition that scientists could even figure out how it died. They believe the bison likely starved, as evidenced by the minimal fat around its abdomen. Deer frozen in lake. If you've never tried ice fishing, it's definitely an experience worth having. It's not just about snagging a fish, it's about everything you encounter along the way. That's precisely what a young angler discovered while out enjoying his day on the ice. He was hoping for a big catch, but stumbled upon something entirely unexpected: a mule deer, half frozen in the lake. It seems the deer might have tumbled from a frozen cliff into the river, found itself alone without any help, and got trapped as the water quickly froze over, sealing its fate with a sudden temperature plunge. Check out this deer that got stuck on the icy surface of a frozen river. Before it ended up like the previous one, a guy came to the rescue and began sliding the bewildered deer across the ice towards safety. With gentle nudges, he carefully guided it to the shore. After a bit more effort, the deer finally made it to solid ground, safe and sound. Frozen animals in Turkey. Animals caught in the ice, frozen mid-stance or in the midst of a steppe. This isn't a shot from a science fiction film, but a real-life apocalyptic view from last January, when a rare snowstorm, dubbed Elpida, hit Turkey and Greece hard. The storm wrapped everything in a thick layer of snow, bringing life to a standstill and burying thousands under 20 feet of snow in the impacted regions. Not just humans, but creatures ranging from wild foxes to pets faced grim odds in the severe chill. While some were rescued, others were lost under the snow, never to be seen again. At another place, a school of fish frozen in midair trapped in a wave of water was photographed by a nature explorer. The incredible pictures were featured in the New York Times. This fish, caught frozen mid-leap, became an internet sensation. It likely tried to escape the lake's low oxygen by jumping out, only to be ensnared by the biting cold wind, remaining suspended in midair. Abnormal frosts in Kazakhstan. 5 years ago in Kazakhstan, temperatures plummeted to -54°C amid freezing winds and blizzards, posing a danger to people and proving deadly for animals. Many creatures were discovered frozen solid in various places. In January 2018, a video surfaced showcasing various animals caught in the grip of severe winter conditions. It featured a cat and a dog frozen mid-movement in a snowy field, seemingly trapped while trying to navigate through the snow. Elsewhere, a hare was found encased in ice mid-climb on a fence, having succumbed to the frigid temperatures before a local managed to retrieve its body. Authorities urged people to provide temporary shelter to stray animals to prevent further tragedies. Ice Age Cave Bear. Our planet's thawing permafrost is turning up some astonishing relics from days gone by, including the incredibly well-preserved remains of an Ice Age bear discovered by reindeer herders in the Russian Arctic. Scientists say this ancient bear, an ancestor of today's brown bears found worldwide, was found with its nose, teeth, and all internal organs perfectly intact. This mummified Ice Age cave bear, which roamed the Earth between 22,000 and 39,000 years ago, is hailed as the first and only discovery of its kind. Saka mammoth. Russian researchers have stumbled upon the incredibly preserved remains of a woolly mammoth that roamed the Earth over 10,000 years ago. They found parts of the skull, several ribs, and bones from the forelegs, some still with soft tissues attached. What's more, some of these parts even contained blood vessels that are so well preserved they're still fresh looking and reddish. This marks the first time scientists have been able to recover mammoth blood in such a remarkable state. While it's not clear yet how or when the mammoth died, the prospect of studying its blood is thrilling for the researchers. This groundbreaking find has sparked hopes of potentially cloning the long-gone creature. Wood frog. Loads of animals hibernate, ducking into deep burrows or cozying up in dens. But in the thick forests of North America, there's a peculiar amphibian that takes things to another level. It turns itself into a living ice cube. This isn't just any cold snap survival trick. For most creatures, this would be a death sentence. But not for the wood frog. This little trooper enters a state of suspended animation, with 70% of its body freezing solid. Its heartbeat halts, breathing slows way down, and digestion nearly stops. It basically freezes solid. Yet, as soon as the warmth of summer returns, so does the frog, bouncing back to life as if nothing happened. It's like a natural miracle that has scientists scratching their heads, still trying to figure out how it pulls off this frosty feat. The Skeleton Lake. Way up in the Himalayas, there's this eerie lake sitting at 16,500 feet in a snow-dusted valley, filled with the bones of several hundred people whose stories are lost to time. Discovered back in 1942, this lake of skeletons has been baffling scientists and historians alike. Nobody's quite sure who these people were, why they were there, or what happened to them. Theories have swirled around. Maybe they were the remains of an Indian king and his entourage, or soldiers trying to cross into Tibet. But the ancientness of the bones knocked down those theories pretty fast. So, Rupkund Lake has remained a spooky, unsolved mystery, stirring up debates and curiosity until someone can piece together its chilling past with a solid explanation. Frozen Swiss couple. Back in July 2017, while working on road maintenance, someone stumbled upon frozen bodies near a glacier, way up at 8,000 feet. They found a man and a woman, both dressed in clothes from the W2 era, lying close to each other. Nearby, there was a bunch of frozen personal items, all dating back several decades. These well-preserved remains turned out to be a Swiss couple who had disappeared in the Alps over 75 years ago. The couple, who had 7 kids, had gone out to milk their cow and presumably fell into a crevasse, where they remained hidden for decades. It wasn't until the glacier started to melt back that their bodies were finally revealed. Frozen cat rescued. Braving minus 35 degrees Celsius, a stray cat in Russia sought refuge under a parked car to escape the frigid night. The warmth from the car's engine melted the surrounding snow, but this makeshift shelter quickly turned into a trap, freezing half of her body solid, leaving her unable to move. The next day, when the car left, passers-by discovered the cat encased in ice within a chilly puddle. They launched a rescue, gently pouring warm water to melt the ice. Once freed, the cat was swaddled in a blanket and rushed to the vet. Miraculously, she was okay, showing no signs of injury. Bird family rescued. 2 years ago in March, the Netherlands was gripped by freezing temperatures, causing many waterways to ice over. Among them was a canal that froze solid overnight, tragically sealing a mother goose beneath the ice, leaving her mate and their one-day-old gosling stranded and bewildered on the precarious ice above. A passerby noticed the distressed family and, with the help of onlookers, launched a rescue effort. Using a bird-catching net, he was able to scoop up the chicks, tucking them inside his shirt to keep them warm. After a day-long rescue mission, he successfully saved the entire goose family and brought them to the safety of his home. Wolf rescued from icy river. About a decade ago, a touching scene unfolded as construction workers discovered a wounded dog stuck in a frozen river. Swiftly, they sprang into action, breaking the ice to create a path for the animal to reach the shore. When the dog struggled to escape the icy waters on its own, 3 of the rescuers dove into the lake to pull it to safety. After administering first aid and initial rescue breaths, they transported the animal to a clinic. Following treatment, the dog was placed in a cage with plans to release it back into the wild once fully recovered, only to later realize the dog was actually a wolf. Horse rescued from frozen water. 2 years ago in Russia, a harrowing situation unfolded when 11 horses tumbled into an icy pond, getting stuck in the frigid waters. Panicked and fighting for survival, the horses desperately struggled. Luckily, some quick-thinking farmers sprang into action to save them. Using a crane and manual efforts with ropes, they managed to pull each horse to safety, one after the other. After the dramatic rescue, all the horses were taken to a nearby care center to recover fully from their ordeal. Let's chat about the thumbnail of this video. The photo depicts what seems to be 7 frozen skeletons, which distinctly do not resemble humans. From our online research, the origins of this image remain ambiguous. Some suggest these were discovered in Antarctica, believed to be unidentified entities. Conversely, there are theories proposing it's merely a film or series set, or possibly a convincingly created AI-generated image. Personally, I'm inclined to believe in the existence of extraterrestrial beings captured in the photo, Though admittedly without concrete evidence, my skepticism leans towards the second theory, doubting it's the work of AI. What are your thoughts? I'm all ears. Frozen squirrel. An elderly woman capturing the serene, snow-covered morning outside her home spotted an unusual leg perched on her front boundary wall. As she began to clear away the snow, she discovered it was attached to a little squirrel, unfortunately frozen solid due to the sub-zero temperatures. It seems the squirrel had chosen this spot as a safe haven, only for the harsh, cold night to immobilize it over time, turning it into an icy statue. Thank you so much for tuning into our video. Please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you won't miss out on any of our fantastic upcoming videos. A big thank you once again.